Thanks for coming out. Is this on? Doesn't feel like it.
It's on. Bring it closer.
Thanks for coming out. In these apocalyptic times, it's good to have laughter. They've already come for the journalists and the comedians, so laughter is an act of resistance. So let's resist some. I hope you had a drink before you came, some day drinking. There's a paranormal relationship between your words, your drinking, and my words. The more you drink, the funnier I get. I've been in Randy's class so long, it's not funny. But I do it for my health. Doctors say that if you do something out of your comfort zone, which this definitely is, you can delay the onset of dementia. My wife says it's not working. That train has already left the station. But I've been with Randy so long, it's like my second wife. They both say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's not funny, I don't care what you say. Get the marbles out of your mouth, you're not Demosthenes. Some people understand that, but it's both of them, over and over again. Same thing, picking at me. Checking my wife's reaction, I might have to find a new way home. I don't walk after dark anymore. We live way out in the country in Fairview. So far out that we have to have a landline because we're in a cell dead zone. Sort of like living in RFK's brain. Right next to the worm. But after 5 shows, it's hard to come up with new material. So I asked Randy if we could go off color. He said, fuck no. I said, there's a lot of material there, they're easy laughs. And he said, I said no. And I said, yes, dear. But we want to find material that you can relate to. So sex is something most of you can relate to or remember. Nuns used to say they were married to Jesus and they'd be voluntarily celibate. Some of the folks at Ollie may be voluntarily celibate now that they're not married to their jobs anymore. Some of the folks at Ollie may be involuntarily celibate even though they're convinced that they're ready, willing, and able. I have trouble finding stuff. I put something in a special place so I know where I can get it and remember it. But then I can't find that place. I hadn't intended to hide it, but it seems it did. And it always shows up in the last place I look. That happened to you? I figured it out. The last place I looked makes sense because I wouldn't keep looking. I made it the last place. Another problem I have is to go into a room and not know why I'm there, what I went for. I had an interesting experience with that recently. I went down the hallway, got to the doorway, and all of a sudden it hit me. I knew what it was, why I was there. It was the bathroom. Which reminds me of Dad when he was in his 90s. The nurses used to say, you got to sit to pee. He said, I'm a man, I don't do that. And the nurse said, yes, sir, you are a man. You're a man standing in the closet peeing. As some of you know, and some of you may figure it out, I have Parkinson's. You may have thought this was just from nerves, but I've got an excuse. Parkinson's and I have been together for a long time. We're doing well. I first met the movers and shakers 20 years ago. And I didn't even make a wish. No copper bracelet. The tremors can be good, though. My dog likes it. I can do shaken, not stirred really well. And it can take care of stains. I drop a lot of food on my shirt because of shakes. Then I can just get rid of it real easy. Just wet my slip, and then it takes care of it right away. There's a downside, though. I've learned I can't stand like this. I don't order the soup and salad special. And I don't do my banking online on my cell phone because send is too close to delete. There are some jobs that I probably couldn't get because of my tremors, like a gynecologist, a barber, or on the bomb squad. Balance is a real problem. If I step off a curb that I didn't know was there, I feel like I'm Wile E. Coyote going off the cliff. I tend to fall backwards. When I start to fall, I backpedal to catch myself. My physical therapist has another model. She says, stick your butt out and then thrust. She was kind enough to demonstrate. I lost my balance. Where it's really threatening is when I'm standing at the urinal. If I fall backwards, I could be a miniature Old Faithful. And tend to lose body awareness. You know the test that docs have you do? Close your eyes and make your fingers come together and then bring them to your nose. I poked my eye. I was rubbing her leg in bed, not getting any reaction at all. No, all right, let's go. Or no, I'm too tired. Or have too big a headache. Or not until you buy me those drapes. None of them. And then I realized it was my leg. My mouth doesn't open as much as it used to. I can't get the foot long or even the 6-inch in my mouth anymore. I'm talking about sandwiches. I can't do more than 2 scoops on an ice cream cone because I end up looking like a mime with white vanilla ice cream all over my face. And I can't play a clarinet. I need 2 hands for a lot of things I used to do with just one, but I've got better about asking for help. But I have to be careful who I ask for what. Like I'm not going to ask the undercover cop to hold my beer while I put on my jacket. I'm not going to ask the woman with a short skirt to tie my shoe. She was very nice. Very nice. And I'm not going to ask Congress for health care. Choking can be a real problem for folks with Parkinson's. It's one of the leading causes of death for people with Parkinson's. So eating becomes a risk. I've had the Heimlich maneuver done on me 7 times. 3 by my wife and 4 by complete strangers. I just think of those strangers going home at the end of the day and the spouse says, "How was your day?" "Well, I just saved somebody's life and then finished my sandwich." So for me, a good meal is one that I survive. That's funny. Keep up the resistance. Keep effing. Thank you.
Yeah. Bill Petz, everybody. Bill.